chat. Happy Friday. Little late, but better late than never. But never late is better. Shout out to Drake, still in morning. How we doing? Happy Friday. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/Gundacker. Joined by Josh, who I found out is way smarter than most of us last night. I don't know how to feel. What's up, Josh?
How you doing, man? Liking this slate. It's good for a Friday. Except last night, I'll take the fall on the sword for the Rashawn Holmes rebound. You were right. You said it on stream. You said can't trust that front court, and yep.
Yeah. So moments after telling everybody that you're smarter than all of us, I almost died on a sip of Bang. So living up to the yep.
I mean, hey, we got the Clay day right. We knew that was incoming.
Yeah, Clay over 2.5 threes was fruitful. But yeah, the Kings front court all year. It's just been a headache. Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley, Alex Len, Tristan Thompson, and now Damian Jones. So it's been a spot I've been staying away from. Another spot that we were watching, I made a mental note, told you guys to keep an eye on it, was Clint Capella not closing fourth quarters, not playing fourth quarters. And it seems like it's because he can't shoot free throws. We were talking about the Capella props. If we maybe take the first half overs, if they split his projection right down the middle, and then take the second half unders, just kind of like using it back. So it seems like if it's a competitive game, Capella's he's a risk. So maybe something to keep an eye on going forward. What's up, live chat? Shout out to you guys. A little late today, but it's all right. It looks like I'm going to be able to do the DFS show solo, so I can usually get that done a little bit faster if I need to start speaking Spanish. You know what I mean? Chris Smith. What up, Chris? Lana Keela. Tatum assist, anyone? I'm sure Josh will talk about that. He's always on Tatum assist. Scammer, I think I got you down on them Super Bowl squares last night. What up, Jason Holland, Justin Brooks, John. What up, Josh? See, your dog. Now I feel, ever since you told me neuroscientist, like, I just feel like, I don't know, you're going to have to start talking to me like a child. What up, Scott? Mr. PhD Josh with the prop detector, says John. Smart guy over here. Anyway, so before I went live, about 20 minutes ago, the slate got nuked. James Harden listed as out for tonight's game against the Utah Jazz. So that's going to give us the Brooklyn Nets without Harden, without Kevin Durant, and then you're going to up the usage to 1,000,000% on Kyrie Irving. Maybe pick up some more real points from Patty Mills. I don't think we have those props up yet. But Josh, did you say that they were letting us get out of Harden props?
They were. So I put in 2 Harden props or cards last night, and I just was able to cancel them, both of them, like 10 minutes ago.
Okay. I wonder if that's a new feature that they're doing. That's interesting. Or if it's a one-time thing,
right? I mean,
yeah, I didn't see anything. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't check their Discord, but that would be nice to just be able to pull out of all kinds of stuff at your. Anyway, Scott says Gary Trent last night missing all the shots except the one I wanted to miss. Bro, I was there a couple weeks ago with Curry. I think I needed Curry was like, Jesus, he was like 4 for 20 or something, and then he hits the game winner, and I was like, no, that's the one I needed you to miss so you can get to overtime, get me a couple more. What did we have yesterday? We had overtime for DeRozan.
Thanks to the special prayer, got us there. Yep.
Yeah.
He was sitting at 24, and the prop was 26.5. And the overtime just got him over. Yeah.
That's great. Trade summary. Oh, did we just get a trade?
Yeah. Pretty
Let's see it.
Mediocre.
See. Clippers get Norman Powell, Robert Covington. Blazers get Bledsoe, Winslow, Keon Johnson, second round pick. Does that feel like the Clippers want to fight?
It sounds like the Blazers defense just got even worse, which I don't know how it's possible.
Yeah, that too. Last night they Ty Lue kind of like hinted that Kawhi was officially done for the year, which made us skeptical on Paul George's status. And then the Clippers are just out here like overperforming like they do every year, adding Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Reggie Jackson, Ivica Zubac. Are the Clippers trying to put up a fight? I don't know, man. I don't know. Interesting. Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk some picks tonight. I would imagine the Nets are going to be a point of interest, but we can't really do anything to like post some lines out. But I think early on we're going to be looking for just about anything on Kyrie Irving, and then Patty Mills real points. Right? What would you say is a safe line if it stays below 15.5? We would be all over that, or maybe Patty Mills threes. What are you thinking early on as a sweet spot to look for before they post it?
Yeah, I'd say 14. I would be really comfortable with, and then yeah, the 3-point prop,
Okay.
depending on what that is. If that's 2.5, yeah, jump on that. But I imagine they're gonna make it 3.5. I assume.
All right. So let's hit up some games here and see if we can't find some spots we want to target. Chicago Bulls are going to play 4 games in 5 nights, I believe is the stat. You know, they had some games postponed earlier the year, so they're going to have some blips in the radar when it comes to scheduling going forward. Levine was questionable all day yesterday. Then last night, some doubts about his availability tonight on a back-to-back where they played overtime to crank up that 4 and 5 game stretch. So maybe the fact that Levine is questionable today, maybe he's going to be one of the rest candidates and they start staggering going forward. I don't know for sure, but what I do know is the matchup gets a little bit better for DeRozan. The total definitely very juicy at 230.5, and the Pacers are very depleted. No TJ Warren, he's been out all year. Miles Turner, DeMontis Sabonis, TJ McConnell, Isaiah Jackson, who was the apple of a lot of DFS eyes on the last game, injured seconds into the game, and then Malcolm Brogdon out with Bataze and Brissett being the hopeful guys in the front court. But if they can't go, they end up leaning on Terry Taylor, who is not a 7-footer, and this becomes a very small Pacers lineup. So the path of resistance is very, very, very low. Josh, did you have any Bulls props queued up? Is DeRozan somebody we're willing to go back to, even if we got a little run good yes to it? Oh, they don't have any Bulls props?
I know. I really want Javonte Green and Io's props to see what they look like. So I'm waiting on those. I'm
Okay.
interested because I imagine if Levine was a midday downgrade yesterday, I assume he sits today, right? Being questionable, but we'll see.
After playing overtime, knowing that the
Yeah.
schedule is what it is, as a coach, I would probably err on the side of caution and just kind of rotate and stagger. Okay, well, I guess what about the Pacer side here? Karis LeVert has an opportunity to play and absorb most of the usage in the absence of Sabonis, Turner, and Brogdon. 33.5 PRA is the line they set for him. He hit that against Orlando. Orlando's going to, that game profiled as a much lower scoring, lower pace game. Did you have any Pacers props queued up, or are we just waiting for Bulls?
I was just waiting for Bulls. LeVert just makes me nervous. He's just not consistent at all. So
Yeah, he's a tough sweat.
I get
All
it for
right.
DFS for GDP, but yeah.
8476. All right, where do we go then? San Antonio
Yeah.
and Houston. Is that a spot for you?
I'm waiting on the San. Oh wait, they're posted. All right, yeah, we can do
let's
that.
go.
That's my favorite. Let's do
Wow,
it.
this is live prize fix content, man. You just never know what's on the board.
I've been
So
waiting
yeah,
for this.
San Antonio, night 2 of a back-to-back, but last night they punted. DeJounte Murray didn't play last night. Jakob Poeltl didn't play last night. And today, they host the Houston Rockets, so home back-to-back, but 2 of the bigger pieces of this team are rested anyway. Did this total open up at 240 last night? Is that what you said? Now we're still at 237. It's really ridiculously high. Houston, fastest pace in the league, with one of the worst defenses in the league. DeJounte Murray should absolutely go nuts here. He's had a couple of games against the Rockets this year, at least one where I think he dropped 70 in 2
Yeah.
games. 2 games against the Rockets, he's averaging 60 fantasy points. And yeah, I think one of those games was a fat 70 bomb. DeJounte is one of my favorite players to put money on, and then it kind of got all-star snub twice in a week. He didn't make the starters and he didn't make the reserves, and there's a movement to get him in there. What are you thinking on the Spurs here for some prize picks action?
I mean, this matchup is perfect again for Pirtle and DeJounte. They don't have his fantasy point posted yet, so I want to see what that is relative to what your projections are. They don't. Yeah, it looks like they don't have any fantasy points for the Spurs yet. But I like Pirtle's points, always like that in his PRA, and then you can always get on DeJounte's PRA too. But I'm gonna hold out until I see the fantasy score to compare it.
All right. So just for a point of reference, my number on DeJounte fantasy wise is 53.
Okay.
And then he's a guy that averages 2.5 stocks per game. Houston turns the ball over at a league high clip, and also allow a lot of blocks. So if the fantasy projection was within 6 or 7 of the PRA, I'd probably want the fantasy projection. But yeah, looking really good for DeJounte Murray. Maybe they stagger rest for like a Derek White after he handled the load last night. And then Jakob Poeltl, same song and dance for him. Something to be cognitive of for Poeltl is that Jock Landale is out, and he had been playing some minutes in that front court. Do they all go to Drew Eubanks and Thad Young? Thad Young, somebody that I wouldn't be shocked if it is a DNP tonight because of how they've used him this year. But 9.5 rebounds, should he be full strength here? That seems like a line that I can get behind. Ironically, just 9 rebounds in that last game against Houston. So I think I'd be attacking fantasy points here just because of how much implied goodness is all the way around. So hurry up with those fantasy lines, PrizePicks.
Yeah, especially with the blocks and steals, like we said against the Houston rule, right? So, the Houston side, I like Kevin Porter's assist. It has not moved, and this is a fast-paced environment, perfect for assists. So, probably my favorite Rocket.
6.5 assists. He's cleared that in all of his last 4. The implied total being what it is. I got him as one of the guys to play over 30 minutes. He's averaging 6.2 assists per game on the season. Yeah, not much to not like here. Let's see what he's done in his couple of games against San Antonio. Last game against San Antonio, he had 9 assists, and then prior to that, just 2. But okay, I can get down with that. I think that's a good call. Any other Rockets on your board?
Woods props are a little bit inflated. They're, I think, 2 points higher than usual for his real points. I mean, I always like playing him, but he's also volatile, right? Like, he's the kind of guy who, if he's not motivated, he's not going to produce. So, I like him for DFS. I might just take a Kevin Porter.
Yeah, KPJ assists. I can get behind that. Chronic says Clippers fleeced the Blazers. Yeah. Makes you wonder if the Blazers are about to hit that blow-up button. Hater on says, I guess that means Larry Nance is playing tonight. Yeah, I had Lance probable. I don't know if he would be starting at the small forward, but we'll see. Scott says, had Harden and Powell props already. Yeah. Blazers must be about to trade CJ, picking up the extra guard when they have all the guards already. Yeah, Mike, that's what I'm thinking. Blow-up button is right there, like the Staples button. Do they just get it going and try and rebuild around Dame next year? If they just give Dame the whole year off, I don't know. Patty Mills over 13.5 points. I wonder if they're going to avoid. Did they post that? I guess one way to kind of get an idea. No, was that what it was earlier? I wonder if they're going to avoid my SCP with Harden. I don't know. Josh said he was able to go cancel his Harden tickets.
Try to go cancel it if you want to cancel it, or if you wanted to just push, you can keep it. But
yeah, Christmas says Isaiah Stewart first half points. Okay, Blazers traded 2 contracts for 1. They might be about that. Just go and blow it up. Everybody's been calling for it anyway. Josh, where else do we want to move here based on what we might be able to even discuss on the board here? If the Blazers, are the lines still up for the Blazers? They pull it. They still have some lines for the Blazers. So I guess what we could do is see if there is inefficiency in the lines for the Blazers by using the on-off core tool and maybe putting McCollum. What do we want? McCollum and Simons on, and then take off. Is it Norman Powell and Covington? And like you said, Covington is probably one of the strongest, the only defensive piece on that team. Really, I guess Nurkic isn't a pushover, but yeah, that team's already been so bad on defense that losing those two pieces, this could be a really really high scoring opportunity for future opponents. So McCollum and Simons on, and I guess Nurkic. We'll put Nurkic in the mix as well. Take off Powell, Rocco. Numbers we get, just 59 minutes of sample size. McCollum, predictably, 29% usage. Point per minute, almost 1.5, 1.4 point per minute for Yusuf Nurkic, and Simons is at 0.8. But all guys within 24 to 29% usage rate. So the lack of minutes makes the results a little bit more volatile. But it is a way to steer us in the right direction. And Norman Powell is a guy that can eat into some offensive real points. I think he's coming off a game where he just had 30-something real points or something in that area. Yeah, 30 real points. So 30 real points as a guy that could poach into McCollum and Simon's upside. That being off the board makes me feel a little bit better about targeting CJ here. They give us 21.5 real points on CJ, and that's a number that he has cleared in all but this last game against the Lakers where Norman Powell scored 30. Maybe that line looks a little bit better now than it did 2 hours ago. 30.5 PRA for CJ, and then 36 fantasy points for McCollum. And I had him at 38, and I feel like that could get above 40 once I take out Norman Powell from the mix, man. Does any of that sound okay to you?
Wait, sorry, I might have missed it. Did you go over assist rate? Did any of those get boosts with Powell out?
No. 20% assist rate on McCollum, which is not remarkable. 14% assist rate on Simons. 14% on Yusuf Nurkic. Does this team just have like the lowest assist rate in all of basketball?
Right, like yeah, all those guys are just shot creators on their own. Yeah, I mean Powell, he was a distributor, so I was under the assumption that one of those guys would get a boost, but yeah, so I would avoid the assist probably. Yeah, I'm interested in the fantasy score after you sweep projections with those guys out. Let's see how it compares.
Yeah, real points in fantasy score, the two for CJ I'm thinking about right now, and then Simons is also 18.5, and then the same with Nurkic. He's at 39.5 fantasy points. So I usually always project him aggressively, but think about how bad the Thunder have been this season in their front court. They are, when it comes to fantasy points allowed, if we go pull up that team DVP chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, they are allowing a bottom 4 amount of fantasy points per game to the center spot, and it's just been a carousel, man. Favors, Muscala, Jeremiah Robinson, Earl, Mamadi Diakite last game. There is basically nothing's working for him. So Nurkic should have a day up against that front court. So 39.
But I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say 39.5 fantasy points. It's about 6 points lower than what I got. It is an 8-point spread. Maybe the spread neutralizes a little bit if Powell, gets removed. But I don't know that Powell to Nance against the Thunder is that big of a lateral, considering how the Thunder project to not be a powerhouse offense. So, but I guess what I'm saying is Nurkic fantasy points. I feel like I already have meat on the bone based on the projections before taking out Norman Powell. What are you thinking on Nurkic?
Yeah, I always like attacking OKC, like you said, for all those reasons in the paint. I do want to make a note though. This OKC squad it's looking better without SGA.
They're
right?
definitely scrappier on defense.
They're much better on defense. That backcourt defense is legit, but they're still putting up points. I mean, they dropped 120 on the Mavs and won in overtime, right? So.
Yeah,
I would just take that into consideration if you're considering Simons and CJ.
The Mavs didn't have Porzingis, right? Porzingis is a big anchor of that defense. It could have been that sleep on your opponent mindset.
Sure.
But I don't know that. I don't believe that they're a better offense without SGA, right? They were already
No,
like
no,
one of the
no,
worst offenses in
no.
basketball, but
Yeah,
defensively,
yeah,
I could see them tightening a little bit.
yeah.
But with that said, this is kind of like a unstoppable force, immovable object situation where we're getting a team with like the worst offensive efficiency in basketball up against a team with a bottom three defensive efficiency, and they take out Robert Covington. So something's got to give, right? And you, NBA caliber players, can we put up some points here? They're implied for barely 100, but 100 real points. And maybe that implied total will go up after this Roko news, but
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully it stays close enough and competitive to get into some Nurkic actions. Did you have any Thunder? Josh Giddy, do you have any props that you might get behind? Because he's kind of a do-it-all hustle guy. He's got 7.5 boards, 7 assists, 14.5 real points. I think you just throw it all together and hope for the best in like a PRA blanket or a fantasy point blanket. He's cleared 29.5, 3 straight. Every game without SGA. Let's see what he's done. Josh Giddy, PRA by game log without SGA last 10 games. Hopefully StatMuse will understand this. They did not. So Josh Giddy, let's go FanDuel points then. FT point by game log without SGA last 10 games. Same case, this Giddy prop's a little too high for him. So 37, 33, 62, 33, 41. So this is PrizePicks fantasy points without SGA. They got him at 35. So 35 is a number he's cleared twice. The other games are the last game is Dallas, so he cleared it last game. 62 against Dallas again. He just loves Dallas. And then 41 against Atlanta. So the game that he missed was against Utah. Utah, tough defense. And ironically, against the Portland Trailblazers. So I still think the Blazers defense is going to profile poor enough that I might try to find a Giddy prop to attach myself to. Did you have any Thunder or any Giddy leans?
I always like Giddy's rebounds. I could get on 7.5. Yeah, his assist rate's been really good. It's just I just worry about these guys missing a lot of their shots.
Right.
I don't see Dort keeping up this shooting that he's had. Trey Mann kind of had like a outlier game against the Mavs. Does he keep that up? He scored, I think, almost 30 points. It's risky. And the thing about Giddy, like I get the PRA because he fills a stat line, but he also at times just doesn't score, and he can just be a ghost out there in terms of offensive production. So it's fringe for me right now. I'll think about it.
All right, steer the ship, Josh. Any talking points you want to get to? Charlotte Hornets are on the slate, right? Is that a spot? That's usually a spot we run to. You got any interest in that game? Where are you leaning?
I'm kind of leaning Okoro for points, 10.5. I feel like that's pretty low for his production lately, and with Garland out, I like that in the fast-paced matchup. And then I'm still deciding on Jared Allen. I don't know. I watched him the last few games, and he just does not look motivated. So, and he burned us last time, right, with his fouls.
Yeah, the foul trouble was definitely frustrating. But 34.5, man, that line is going to trap me.
I know.
It's freaking it's crazy how often like this guy was 40s and he's like the minutes are still there for him if he can stay out of foul trouble. I got him for 42 fantasy points, so I do lean the over from a projection standpoint. Did they don't give us Kevin Love lines, right? No.
I know. I mean, talk about like productive. He's killing it. And
I'm telling you, Kevin Love is the darkest horse for sixth man of the year, man.
I'm with you on that. He also makes me worried because like when he's going off and he's making his threes, that could reduce Jarrett Allen's minutes because he subs in directly for him. So yeah, I don't know.
All right, and you mentioned Darius Garland out. They are still without Colin Sexton, Ricky Rubio. They have Rajon Rondo. He hasn't been playing deep minutes. Last game we saw Brandon Goodwin start with Cedi Osman over Dean Wade. Will they go that route again today? If Goodwin draws to start again, his lines are 10.5 Points, 5.5 assists, 19.5 PRA, and 24 fantasy points. He cleared 5.5 assists with 8 against Houston. This could be a number where people just don't know what to do with his props, because sometimes the line makers they're using different algorithms than we are for DFS. Brandon Goodwin could be priced extremely, extremely soft. I got him for 33 FanDuel points. Charlotte's just been the matchup we target all year. They got him for 24.5 fantasy points, but the assists seem very intriguing for a game that's going to give the Cavs more implied possessions than they usually get. And Houston's a good example of a team that runs so fast that, these slow-paced teams like the Cavs get extra 4 or 5 possessions, and just the game environment so much different. Did we put money on Brandon Goodwin on the year of our Lord 2022?
I mean, you made some good points there. I did not see those props last night, so they must have just added that this morning. Because I was on just the Okoro props.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of risks, right? Like you said, like we don't know how the lineup could shake out. I feel more confident in Okoro to get his normal run, and he's been taking a lot of shots and kind of like the de facto guard for them. So with Garland out,
I will say Brandon Goodwin has cleared this 19.5 PRA in the 2 games without Darius Garland, and one of them he came off the bench. So
okay, all right. If he came off the
so we got 2 sample sizes, one off the bench.
Did he close both games?
I will get that. I will get that answer for you. I would guess that Rajon Rondo is more live to close because he had been closing with Garland. Maybe it was a dual close, but Brandon Goodwin, he played the fourth quarter. Obviously, the last minute was the punt squad, and then against the Pelicans, Brandon Goodwin closed that game. So he did close both games. In the Pelicans game, he didn't start, and he still closed. So maybe they made the decision mid-game because he started the second half of the Pelicans game. Maybe they made the decision that needs to be the point guard. And then after starting the second half, he started the next game.
Okay.
Play Justice, you keep your wins low. If you play Brandon, it's a good win. Let's get caught up on chat. That was so dumb. Hater on says you can run that back with Trey Man points and Giddy rebounds, maybe. 2K plug 23 says you like Luka PRA. Yeah, we could segue over to Luka. You got any Luka or did you have something?
Yeah, that game I wanted to touch on last before we got off, because I'm liking that game.
Mm-hmm.
I know it has a low implied total, but like I said, the Mavs defense has been pretty porous. So like you were talking about with Porzingis out.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think the Mavs defense will be bad, but obviously Porzingis is good defender. So losing.
I mean, no, they're struggling, right? I mean, they just lost to OKC, and then they just gave up 110 to the Magic.
Yeah,
right?
I guess Porzingis is
lost Magic.
Let's see.
So, but this is an ESPN night game. This is the primetime game, and you got Embiid coming in, and I do like Luka's PRA. I'm more leaning towards his assists prop. I feel like 8.5 is way too low for what his role is right now. He's just taking on he's back to being Luka, like put the team on his back, and he's just triple doubling every game and dishing it out. So 8.5, I feel like that's going to go up. So I'm jumping on the 8.5 assists. And then on the Philly side, maybe for some narrative Friday here, we got Tyrese Maxey homecoming game. He was born and raised in the Metroplex Dallas area, and he was Mr. Texas basketball of the year, his senior year. Like I said, this kid's a hooper, man. I've been watching him grow all the season, and he just named the Rising All-Star, so you got some motivation there. And actually, the Mavs, right before he was drafted, the Mavs drafted Josh Green instead, and I'm sure they regret that. And they, so he has some motivation here. I mean, it's all lining up for him. He's been killing it. I really hope Seth Curry's out because that makes me like him even more. Seth did go through shoot around though. I like his PRA and I like his assists. 5.5 assists and his 26.5 PRA.
I get that. Maxi, one of the MIP candidates. We were looking at odds the other day. Hey, yo, Lane Ruppert, man, appreciate that sub. Tanner, Westbrook over assist F me last night. Oh. Whenever Westbrook does bad, I catch all the heat, bro. I guess that it is what it is. Some guys gotta you gotta catch the heat when the Yankees suck in the season. I get the heat. People tag me, at me. Same with Westbrook, man. Last night was so weird and I was on the assist prop with you. So when Westbrook fails, we fail together. Sorry.
Yeah.
But as far as the early video, I guess Luke. Sometimes on the weekends, I don't know. Luke does a lot of like hardcore golf content, so sometimes he can't cut it. I didn't communicate with him last night. It's been really, really kind of winter stormy here. So yeah, if we can get early video up, we do. The shelf life of NBA content is so short, and a lot of times, especially for PrizePicks, there's not a lot of lines to dig into early on. So like, if the lines that are up to early, like Josh, you went to bed with Isaac Okoro on your notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one wants to watch a video about Isaac Okoro at 8 in the morning. So, like, if
that's all I had, right?
Yeah, if there's nothing to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want.
There was two games. Yeah, 2 games available.
Yeah, so I would rather them not force content than put out something that's just for views and ad revenue. But as much as we can, I'll try and get an early video up. I'm still trying to collaborate with other content creators. So I've been looking for MMA and NHL guy as well that might be able to do some videos. But our bad, Tanner. But hopefully we can get one up for tomorrow. I might do a stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. Usually in the morning I have to do an Osmo NBA stream, but tomorrow I don't have to. So I might be able to double down on my streams tomorrow and keep the PrizePicks going. Lorenzo says, love Maxi Kleber PRA at 16.5. The thing, man, with Kleber, he does get those blocks. So I kind of would like to throw a blanket over maybe like fantasy points if it's close enough to PRA. Kleber is at 16.5 PRA with 24. Jesus H. They give him 9 points to compensate for blocks. Well, maybe not. Maybe we'll take the PRA. 16.5. He's cleared that 3 in his last 4. Sure. Still hit 1-2 though. I'm not mad. Appreciate y'all. Hey, Tanner, it is what it is. No one's gonna have 100% win rate. It do be like that. But that one was definitely frustrating. Lane says, how do you like Io's assist line? So it does feel like the Bulls are liable to rest somebody, and it feels like Zach LaVine might be the most logical candidate. He was a midday Q yesterday. He went to overtime yesterday. They have 4 games in 5 nights. So it would probably behoove them to try and put one of those guys on ice, and LaVine having the most obvious injury or not 100% propensity. It seems like LaVine would be down. If that happened, Io and like Kobe White, who I think Kobe White had a tag on him too, should benefit from a lot of minutes, and then that much more usage opens up real points and a couple extra ball handling. So I would like the Io assist line. We don't know what it is, but it's been around 4.5, right, Josh? So probably take the 4.5 if LaVine is out.
Yeah. I like Green more, I think, because he's been more productive offensively and aggressive, getting to the basket, drawing fouls. So, depending on his point prop line, if it's still 7.5 or 8.5 or something like that, I would jump on that.
So we have some Brooklyn lines up, Josh. We've got Kyrie Irving 27.5 real points, 6 assists. I think we're taking assists. 5 rebounds for Kyrie. 38.5 PRA. Patty Mills is at 15.5 points, 20.5 PRA, and then Claxton is at 11.5 points, 7.5. So I think what sticks out to me is Kyrie assist and Patty Mills real points. Let's see if we can quantify this on some stats via the on-off court tool. But would you agree with those two, Kyrie and Patty? Let's put Kyrie on the on-off court tool. Let's take off Harden. Let's take off Durant. And remember, no Aldridge still, too, right? So let me scroll down on that. Double check that I had Aldridge listed as out. I do have Aldridge listed as out. So Harden, KD, Aldridge off the court. Just put Kyrie on, and I want to focus on his assist rate. The assist percentage goes to 25.6% on Kyrie in this split. 139 possessions, only 68 minutes, but logistically, he's got a ball handle. And then Patty Mills has a 21% usage rate. And you know that most of Patty Mills' shots are going to be via the three ball anyway. And I think it's very reasonable to expect Patty Mills to be top 2 in shot attempts. Kyrie's probably won 20 to 30 shot attempts, but Patty Mills could probably get 15 to 20 shot attempts as the second leading scorer here. So I do like putting Kyrie assists. Yeah, I got a 29% assist rate in this split, but the minutes are so low that I don't want to hang on to this. But 6.5 assists or 6 assists seems awfully low. So give me Kyrie assists at Patty Mills points. And then Nick Claxton, it feels like 11 points is a lot. But it's Hassan Whiteside, not Rudy Gobert, and it's maybe Hassan Whiteside, right? So maybe all of these Nets numbers are still a little too light, but I think Kyrie assists at 6 and Patty Mills points at 15.5. What are you thinking?
I agree with that. I don't see anything wrong with that, and nothing else stands out. So,
all right. Anything else we need to touch on before we roll out for the DFS stream?
Yeah, I mean, keep going that Tatum slot machine, right? Like, I can't believe they haven't adjusted his assist line. Like, guy's playing point guard. Like, he is the de facto point guard ball handler. So maybe it's just because they're basing it off previous season average when he wasn't running the point. But yeah, 4.5 assists. He should get over that in this matchup for sure. So I'll go back to that. And anything else you like in that game? I guess, what do you have Robert Williams at fantasy points?
Pulling up the Celtics game in the RunDFS.com and via VFS. I have him at 37 fantasy points for PrizePicks scoring. They definitely have him for a little less, 5-6 points less, right? They have him at 32. So against Detroit, yeah, I would probably lean a little on the over. Detroit is a team liable to get laughed out the gym. No Cade Cunningham. Their offensive efficiency is bad as it is. They played last night, and now they get a Celtics team that defensively are pretty stout. So the game could be, missing 15% of minutes. So I do worry about that. It should be a slower pace game. But I do have Robert Williams leaning the over on their fantasy points. Chat. J. Cole says smart assist as well. I'd get behind that. What else we got, Jen? Let me get all the way caught up on Blazers lineup is small. I think Larry Nance gets back into the mix there. Who may move into the starting lineup for the Blazers? CJ Ellaby? Maybe. I think Nance is somebody that has started for him this season. So I think there's a world where Larry Nance gets into like the small forward spot. Ellaby, Dennis Smith Jr., Ben McLemore, Tony Snell has started for them several times this year. You don't realize it because he's Tony Snell and he doesn't do anything. I would probably say if Tony Snell started, I would feel better about some of these Simons McCollum numbers. And then if Larry Nance took over for like Rocco or something like that, he is a little bit more active in his time on the court. But they could go several different ways. So hopefully Chauncey Billups kind of leans, tells his hand one way or the other. If you guys want to keep up to date with all the props, we're going to be keeping tabs on as more news comes out, as we tighten screws on projections. Go to RunDFS.com, click VIP memberships. Try a week pass, man. Just test it out. If you want to lock in for longer, we have several bulk discounts the longer the time frame, but that'll get you access to the spreadsheet, but perhaps more fun, more valuable. Get into the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord, and we have the Prize Picks and Props channel, man. You guys grind there all night. The sweat is real. You guys sweat the props all night. It's a lot of fun. And people rooting for each other. And then every day before lock for about 2 hours, a little bit longer, I'm in the NBA voice chat. You guys can grab a mic, join the conversation, have some fun, vibe out as we make our fantasy sports lineups and our Prize Picks cards. So support the stream, support the site, and get up to the minute thoughts and theories and projections as the night progresses. I'm going to be back in a little bit for the DFS show. I'm going to try and revisit every game a little bit more in depth with a FanDuel and DraftKings point of view as well, but we're not giving up on PrizePicks. Anytime something opens up, I'll revisit the line on PrizePicks, and if you guys had questions on that, drop it in chat. Ben and Tony so far, both Horford and Time Lord rebounds. Oh, okay, I'm literally reading your comments. You are the best at being active in chat. Do you guys have any favorite 2 props so far? Josh, if you had to start your every card tonight with 2 props, what are you thinking? You're muted. Who's the neuroscientist now? Huh? Can't figure out the mute button.
Oh man, my hotkey's not working. My hotkey's not working. My bad. One of the DeJounte's props will be my top one. After I get to see what the fantasy points looks like, Jakob Poeltl's fantasy points too, and then probably Luka's 8.5 assists and Tatum's 4.5 assists and Kevin Porter's 6.5 assists. And then Tyrese Maxey, 26.5 PRA. That's probably my top ones right now.
Bet. There you go. He gave you a lot. A lot. But, yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back in like 13, 15 minutes, something like that. Chop it up and say it again. I got to make some adjustments with the Harden. Not the Harden, with the Blazers news. Fix some projections, and then I'm going to get back on here and revisit game by game here. So if you guys got any more questions, even if they're PrizePicks questions, I'll be back live going there. Any unders you're interested in, man, I'll be honest, I'm a sucker. I don't like sweating unders. But on this side, I didn't have much in mind.
I was thinking Bojan, like under 19.5 points with Donovan back, and the Nets defense, backward defense should be a little bit better with Harden out.
There you go. Makes sense. All right. That's going to do it for us. I'll see you guys. Probably tomorrow we'll have some bit of content for PrizePicks. Don't quote me on what it's going to be, but for me, it's easiest to just go live. So we'll see what we got going on with that. I'll keep you guys updated on here, twitter.com/Gundacker. But get in that Discord, man. You guys are missing out if you're not in that Discord. I appreciate your time. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money, but join me back on the DFS show. What am I doing with my hands? I'm scared.